Hi guys, my name is Marina Hubbard, and today I'll be doing my presentation on should juveniles be tried as an adult. Sorry that I had to do it virtual today, but the PowerPoint presentation was not working with my computer. So I do have to apologize again for not following the guidelines of what you apply for us. But I just want to get my presentation done and so you can see it. But should juveniles be tried as adults? Do you guys think juveniles should be tried as adults? Why are juveniles tried as adults? Anybody have an opinion? Okay. Is it ethical to sentence juveniles as adults? Today I'll just be going over everything about juveniles. Should they be treated as adults? Why they committed these crimes, the history, the advantages, the disadvantages, the solutions, the goals, everything about this presentation surrounds why juveniles should be tried as an adult. And then you can interpret your opinion. Do you agree? Disagree? Just check me out in a letter so I can see your questions if you agree or disagree. So, should juveniles be tried as adults today, guys? The juvenile justice system was formally created to provide personal recovery to prisoners and minors crimes such as truancy, shoplifting, vandalism. But youth today are taking advantage of the lingering and outdated system and are committing violent crimes such as rape, physical assault, robbery, just to name a few. But because they believe they will get off easy, so that's why they kind of commit these crimes. To provide justice system to victims and their families and to prevent more and more juveniles from committing violent crimes, the United States must uphold criminal accountability for their age and oppose a tough punishment system. To end, the juveniles should sometimes be tried as adults. Before we present a juvenile punishment plan that indicates the influence of youth on the prevailing culture, circumstances inside which juvenile delinquents usually transpire, we need to first examine the justification for operating minors unlawful. In most nations, to be unlawfully liable, a juvenile needs to reach an onset period. The span of unlawful liability differs from nation to nation. For example, in New York, it is moderate as a 13 for destruction, 14 for additional dangerous violations. Punishing delinquents as a grown-up may transpire in pursuit of fairness in each incident. Many circumstances, such as the offense itself, requires to analyze when producing this determination. While it may be significant, a federal success declaration to advance for a division lawyer department undertaking a delinquent as a grown-up may not occur the most beneficial to the youth. Over the past 2 decades, recognizing that the youth incarceration is oversized, they're overpriced, and effective, reducing racism and preparing youth for re-entry, the youth justice system have shifted from large youth prisons to investment in community-based alternatives to detention, smaller, secure placements. Many youth justice systems also have begun relying on tenants, juvenile developments, building development appropriate to assuring response to youth criminal behavior have been personalized. However, since the 1990s, 10,000s of youth have been prosecuted as adults each year. That's scary. And completely excluded from juvenile court jurisdictions. Therefore, not benefiting from these advantages, some states' laws allow district attorneys, prosecutors to file youth directly to adult courts and exclude some youth from juvenile courts based on their charges and age. In other states, the age criminal responsibility was set below the age 18 when the juvenile court was established nearly 100 years ago. This means that majority of youth charged as adult have entered the adult system without a juvenile court reviewing their case. Every case committed by delinquents should be reviewed closely and all circumstances considered in sentencing them as an adult. Juveniles should be held accountable for their actions and must be tried as adult when they commit adult crime. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with every crime committed by delinquents should be reviewed closely? Or should they just be held accountable for their actions or for the crime they committed? You know, a juvenile can commit crimes that they were put into the position to commit. With that being said, their dad hitting their mom. If it's a male child, they feel like they should protect their mom, you know, and they might escalate into a situation that they didn't want to with the firearm. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say some situations juveniles are put into. Or it could just be they just want to steal and they killed. You know, they're not tussling, they killed you. No, they should be held accountable for their actions if it escalates lethally in violence. But what are some advantages? Do you know any advantages for juveniles to be tried as an adult or in adult court? Okay, I'll give you a couple. Matter of fact, I'll give you some disadvantages too. Why? So some advantages are minors have the right to a jury trial in adult court. Juveniles in adult court may be more sympathetic to a minor. In some jurisdictions where documents in jails are crowded, the court may be inclined to throw away the case, or more quickly to impose a lighter sentence to the juvenile. Some of the disadvantages may be the juveniles are subject to more severe sentencing. Judges in the courts do not have the wide range of punishment and treatment. The juvenile may have severe time in jail or prison rather than in a juvenile detention center. And last but not least, juvenile criminal records are harder to seal than juvenile court records. Some more needs and problems. The delinquent courthouse remains established towards wrong assumption, considering its objective is to guard the juvenile against the results of his or her behavior. Sorry. My computer froze. Give me just 1 second. I do apologize. Delinquent courthouse disappoints to hinder minors' destructions, or the reluctance requirement that a juvenile court be destroyed if delinquents are tried in grown-up courts. However, the primary objective of much juvenile corruptions are to discover and intentional education events in the relationships. They suggest inadequate relation connections and bear surveillance, youth, and bearable and severe punishment. Besides, there are hints that very impoverished public areas put juveniles at a higher gamble for destruction. Some communities also implement possibilities for studying or engagement in descriptions. How we propose these solutions. What are some solutions? Do you know any solution that would get the juveniles from being tried as an adult, other than send them to adult prison? Because adult prison can be scary for juveniles. A couple I came up with was to make the juvenile introduction to gun harder and perform weapon more reliable as a process, overcoming weapon correlations violations by delinquents, build important employment possibility and professional preparation plans to combat needs, present the experience and support to teach genuine passion in secure environments, to decrease juvenile injustice and disrespect. Because many children prosecuted as adults suffer from untreated mental illness, anxiety. They are unable to They are unable to manage their disabilities like anxiety, fear, trauma. They often are impulsive, reckless, and irresponsible. In adult jail or prison, the behavior results are more aggressive punish, which are worsening a child's mental problems. Many kids who are transferred to adult courts for criminal prosecution are automatically placed in adult jails and prisons. Some states are stricter than others. They are higher at risk from being sexually assaulted. Thousands of young people have been assaulted for, again, rape, trauma, ties, assaulted. Do you know what could be done for the our criminal justice as a whole to not charge these juveniles as adults? One could be assure the classifications